This is Saturday's Salvation for November 29, 2025, here on Following Him, the Disciple Life. Let's take a moment to consider Acts 11, verse 18. When they heard these things, they became silent, and they glorified God, saying, Then God has also granted to the Gentiles repentance to life. Now, this is the aftermath of Acts chapter 10, where Peter, and he has to be prompted by God and given a series of visions, and Peter ends up going to Cornelius, a Roman, very much a Gentile, and presenting the truth to him. And Cornelius and his household, and it can be logically and scripturally inferred, the accountable ones in his household are immersed into Christ. They become Christians, that the gospel is for them too. When it comes to what we give thanks for, we're finishing up the theme this month, because the month's almost over, of Give Thanks November. Now, we're not going to quit giving thanks, but the theme for this month, we'll be going to a new theme. We'll be done. But as we consider the things that we should give thanks for, and will continue to give thanks for even after Give Thanks November, that the gospel is for all. Here, these Jews, who among some of them kind of had some prejudice, kind of had what we might call racism, or maybe ethnicism, or maybe a type of ethnic supremacy. Many of the Jews did truly have a Jewish supremacist mindset. We see from them glorifying God, that God had granted to the Gentiles repentance to life. Now, I tell you what, particularly for me, and I would assume for probably most that hear me, we should be particularly grateful on this. Because, I know I personally, I've seen the layout of my ancestry. I've not had a DNA test done. My sister has, and we're full siblings. So her ancestry is my ancestry. We are pure European. A lot of Northern European, a little Spanish in there, a little bit of Russian and Irish and all sorts of things. Just very, very, very Gentile. And it is kind of funny, because I'll sometimes have people, they'll call me a Jew, and to me I'd be like, well, that would be interesting if I had Jewish in my ancestry. I don't. Very, very Gentile. I am so grateful that the gospel is for all, that Christ wants disciples of all the nations, of all people. The gospel is for all. All can be saved. All can be saved in the Christ. So we're thanking God for things pertaining to salvation. Let's thank Him that the gospel, through which we have salvation, of course, it ultimately looks to what Christ did, because the gospel is all about Christ, that salvation is for all. You have a great rest of the day, and shalom.